Hey guys, it's Aric, and we're all just kind of taking turns reading books, kind of telling those nighttime stories. You know, Jamie did one last week, and when I got to pick mine, this was always my favorite book. I've got 3 kids, and I read this book to all of my kids. It's called Goodnight Moon. Just one of my favorite, and it's Goodnight Moon. I mean, what a great title for a book to read before you go to bed. So this is, and I always did it with like weird inflection in parts. I felt like with my kids.
We expect that.
Okay, so that's how I did it. So we'll do it the same way. Goodnight Moon. Oh, I gave this to you. You see that? I didn't even realize that. I even wrote on it. When I grabbed this out of your office, this is a book that I gave to Jamie and his wife and their daughter. So that's kind of cool. It was just always my favorite book to read to my kids. Goodnight Moon. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of the cow jumping over the moon. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs. And 2 little kittens and a pair of mittens. And a little toy house and a young mouse. And a comb and a brush, and a bowl full of mush. And a quiet old lady who was whispering, hush. Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Oh, I forgot. Let's start this. I did this wrong. Good night, light and the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Because sometimes Daddy messes up, children. Good night, kittens, and good night, mittens. Good night, clocks, and good night, socks. Good night, little house, and good night, mouse. Good night, comb, and good night, brush. Good night, nobody, and good night, mush.
Looks like porridge to me.
Yeah, and they obviously needed something to rhyme, so we've got a blank page. And good night to the old lady, whispering, hush. Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. The end. Good night, moon. Some of you probably read it to your kids. Always one of my favorites. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. Jamie's tired. He did. It's time for bed, kids.